particular lesson, we're going to continue to learn on the concept of methods. But in this case, you're going to learn to create how to create a method. Let me be more specific. How to create user defined method. So other than the main method, how we can create our own methods. And then we would move ahead to learn how to pass argument or argument to a method. And then we'll also look at issues of compatibility of data types in passing arguments. And then from there we'll take a typical example of the case of having to pass multiple arguments. To a method. All right, so that will be the end of the lesson. So quickly we get started. How do we create a method? So we take an example that we have a class. Let us do this directly in the working environment. So we're going to create a project. We select Java application. You know this process already, so I'll run fast through this. Let's give the project a name. We want to call this, let's say, methods. Let me click on finish. All right, so the name project methods, you want to add a public class to it, so we select Java class. Want to call this class example, so the example class. Okay, so over here we will need to create first the main method, public static void main. Okay, so now the main method is not our major focus. However, we want to repeat this concept that the main method controls the execution of the program. So any program at all that you write, especially in C, in C++, and then in Java, to control the execution of your program, how your program is supposed to be executed, the flow of the execution of the program, all must be done inside of what? Of the main method, or simply put, that is the functionality of the main method. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to create a method. So if we can create the main method, means that you already know how to create a user-defined method. This time round is not going to have the same name as main, but it's going to have a different name. It is also going to be a static method, and it's going to be a void method also. It's not going to return any value. We want to call it, let's say, greetings. You should have the open and the close braces. Okay. What we simply want to say here is to display system.out.print hello. You should just say hello. So when want to print out a statement, that will say hello. Now we put the statement inside of the method we have created on our own, called it greetings. We have already explained public, static, and then void, these attributes. Okay, so now when would this method get executed? The method gets executed only when the method is what is called. So the question is, how is a method called? Okay, how do you call a method? You call a method by its name. So just like human beings are called by their names, dogs are called by their names. The method has a name. We call the method what? Greetings. It should come together with the open and the close parentheses. So we copy both, or we can just type it straight away. Paste that here. when we do this as we have written on line number 16, we have called the method. Don't forget, like we said earlier on line 14, which is the comment, that the main method controls what? The execution of the program. So we will need to call the method in the main method for it to be what? Executed. Okay, so let's save this. Let's save this. What we have done, it will simply imply that the control comes to the main method, and then the only line of code it has in here is what? The function call or the method call. So the name of the method is going to call is what? Greetings. So we come to this method, and then fortunately enough, for our easy understanding, we have only one method per for now. So it goes directly to the method called what? Greetings. And then inside of the method greetings, what identified it might do is what? Is to print what? Hello. So let's run this and then see what the output will be. We expect that in the console it will print what? Hello. Yeah, so it prints over here that hello. So you have been able to call a method. Yay. It is very important that we learn to understand this. Okay, so moving on, we want to add a little flesh to this. You take an example that now the string must the method must have an argument. Okay, and then we want to pass on the message to the method greetings when it is called. Okay, so now we want to say hello in here instead of typing it here. We don't want to put it here. Okay, so what we have done on line number 19, this is an example of a parameter. A string message is an example of a parameter. String is a data type of what the variable message is. Okay, so it will imply in here that on line number 16, we are calling the method and then we are passing on an argument, what? Hello. Hello will be passed on to the variable what? Message. Okay, now it means that on line number 16, we are passing on hello to the method what? Greetings when it is called. So the method greetings is here, is supposed to take an argument. It has a parameter called what? Message. So hello will be passed on into the variable content what? Message. Okay, so message contains hello. We expect that it will print exactly on that screen. Let's be sure that it is working perfectly well, so we would add something else. Hello, let's say hello John. Okay, so when we call the method, we are passing on the string hello John. What is here is a string, so the parameter variable is also supposed to be what? A string. So hello John will be passed on to the variable what? Message. Okay, so the same thing is on line number 21. So we are printing hello John. Let's run this and then see what the output will be. It should tell us hello John. Where is it? All right, so that is it. So by this example, we have been able to pass on one argument to a method. However, a method can have more than one argument. So we can put a comma here. If you want to pass on more than one argument, you put a comma and then you write, let's say hello John, how are you? Because how are you is a string, you will need to create another string variable. Let's call this greetings. So over here, you put what? We would want to print hello John, how are you? And then we want to say that there must be a space, so we can put a tab in between here. Okay, so then it will print that space for us. Why do we have this? Add import. All right, there is supposed to be a G. Yeah, all right, so then it matches. The variable names were different, so we could not identify them. All right, so now we have resolved that. Which bulb do we have here? I think this should be missing Java doc for readings. And we don't need that. All right, so we can skip this. Let's run this. So now he types in here, hello John, and then he leaves a tab space here, and said, how are you? So what did we do? We have created a method called greetings. It takes two string parameters, string message, and then string greetings. So because the method is defined to have two parameters, when you are calling a method also, you must pass on two parameters. So we have string message, string greetings. When we are calling the method on line number 16, we also pass on how many arguments? We pass on two. The first argument is hello John. The second one is how are you? So hello John, which of these parameters would they hit? It goes to message, and then how are you hits greetings. Okay. All right, okay, so we have already run this. Now let's look at this compatibility issues in terms of data types. If we said this should be, let's say, 34. Let's come to this side. What did he say? Incompatible types. Because why do we have this error? Because we said that greetings is supposed to be what? Greetings is supposed to be a string. 34 is going to be passed into greetings, and greetings is what? Is a string. For it to work correctly well, then we must change greetings to what? An integer, because 34 is an integer. When we do that, we no more have that error. Okay, so let's try to run this and then see. What did it print? Hello John, 34. Great. So in simple terms, the argument must have the same data type as the parameters. We pass on the argument to the parameters here. The parameters are those variables you have created inside of what? The open and the closed parentheses of the method. You must state its data type for each of the variable. Even if they are all integers, you must state integer for all the variables. Okay, and they must be separated with what commas. So you can have as many as possible, as many parameters as possible that you want to create based on how relevant it's going to be in your code. Why do you have this block here? Create a local variable message. It's not supposed to be message interesting. When I move the mouse cursor, it moved also. All right, so we have it corrected. Okay, so this is how you create method, and this is how you create multiple parameters passing on multiple arguments to it. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to create a scenario, and we will use that to explain further how to have multiple methods, and then explain the concept of local variables in methods, and then global variables, and then how to deploy them in your code. If you are new to this channel and you love this video presentation, subscribe. If you have any questions also, you can leave them in the question panel. Thank you.